Hi, and welcome to another edition of Cliff Critiques the Republicans. Well, last night was the Tea Party debate, and the Republicans are sure having a lot of debates. So we're getting a chance to do a lot of this, which is good because we can all learn from the mistakes they make and the triumphs that they have. And the first thing I want to point out is how we're doing things. Our video on YouTube is right here, and if you go to my blog at exciteyouraudience.com/WordPress, this will be a clickable link so you can come up and look exactly at what I'm talking about as I'm discussing it. And over on this side, we are going to put the time codes. So you'll actually see exactly where in the video I'm talking. Now before I get started too far, I just want to take my hat off to Wolf Blitzer. Finally, somebody got up there and did a decent job at moderating the debate. He moved the questions around, you got to see all the candidates, he was giving fair questions, not gotcha questions, he wasn't going for ratings, he wanted people to see what the candidates were all about. Now I think the questions from the audience were a bit staged and planned. They really weren't staged questions from the audience. Somebody would get up there and ask a general question from the audience, and then Wolf Blitzer would come up with all the rest of the questions. I don't know if that was necessary. He could have just asked the questions. He was asking good questions. He did a nice job. Good job, Wolf Blitzer. Well, let's get into what the candidates were doing. Now, the very first answer was given to Michele Bachmann. And once again, she's looking off to the side. Now, you've probably noticed I've been talking about her doing this all along. As a matter of fact, after my last video blog where I talked about her doing this, I saw a Saturday Night Live skit, which wasn't a real new one, but a Saturday Night Live skit of someone portraying her, and everyone else that they're portraying is looking at the camera, and they come to her and they're doing this, and the audience didn't laugh. I was cracking up, because even the Saturday Night Live sketch artist noticed that that's what she does. However, in this case, she was dead on correct. This is the reason why. The audience member had just asked the question. So she was aimed at the audience member, the person who asked the question, and she was really connecting with that person. Awesome job. Same situation, different results. She's looking off to the side. Normally, I don't like this. In this case, it was perfect because she was connecting with the person she was trying to talk to. And in the process of connecting to that audience member, she was kind of connecting to all the audience. Awesome job, something we can all learn from. Now, I'm going to get back into Perry. Perry is really the tale of two speakers. He almost has the President Bush scenario. When he's doing his talking points, he's clean and accurate and positive and looking at the camera, and he looks confident. And when he's dreaming stuff up out of his head, well, what we have to do here is work on Social Security, and then what we're going to do, see all the ahs and the ums and looking at the ground. This was the exact same problem that President Bush II had. George W. Bush, exact same problem. Good if he was doing a talking point, bad if he was doing question and answer. Perry really needs to work on his question and answer. And I have two time codes here. One where he's eyeing and umming away, and one where he's not. And boy, look at the two and look at the difference in the way he's delivering that message. It's really, really huge. And speaking of ahs and ums, now we get to Ron Paul. Ron Paul is an ah-um machine. And he's got a lot of passion. You can tell that what he's saying is really coming from his heart. But he just needs to work on the technicals so bad. Every time he talks, he's just standing there. What we have to do is we've got to stop these wars, and there's wars, and well, that's what we got to stop. The message is getting lost in his ability to deliver a succinct, solid message, just like I'm doing now. Solid, straight, tones that you can hear, no breaks, no ahs, no ums. You look at the camera, you focus, you connect, and you drive your message home. Ron Paul, if he wants any chance of getting the Republican nomination, he's got to work on that and work on that now. When Cain had a chance to answer, I really liked what Cain did. He got the entire panel, just by the fact that he did it, he got the entire panel back on track. For a while, they were all standing there attacking each other, especially Mitt Romney and Perry. They just like to go at each other. And they had some good points. You know, they're attacking each other. What's the point of attacking each other? The idea is to get people to like you and to realize how you could beat the Democrats in 2012. That's what people want to hear. Attacking each other only makes both sides look weak. Cain refocused immediately. He refocused on what I'm going to do. Notice how he says that right in the beginning of his statement. This is what I'm going to do. I don't care what they did. I don't care what they did. I care about what I'm going to do. And then he talks about that. He talks about what he is going to do. I really liked that. And the beauty was when he did it, he made it okay for the entire panel to do it. And everyone started doing that a lot more. They quit attacking each other so much. They were still doing it some, but not so much. Huntsman actually had something we can learn from in his speech. Now, he had something that didn't make any sense to anybody. He says kind of in the beginning, you know, was that answer written by Kurt Cobain as he's talking about Rick Perry? I didn't understand what that meant. And I would imagine most of the audience didn't understand what that meant. And you can see from the audience reaction, everyone was kind of going, huh? Now, that was a mistake. Obviously, he had some kind of connection between something Kurt Cobain did and how this applies that no one else got. And that's something we can all learn, is that sometimes cultural icons that we think everyone knows, they don't know. And that's what happened here. Something that he thought Kurt Cobain, everyone would know about Kurt Cobain, nobody knew. However, the way he responded to that was really good. He didn't let it shake him. You know, he said this thing, he was expecting some kind of reaction. You could tell he didn't let him shake him. He didn't let him rattle him, and he went right back into his answer. That was good. Something we can all learn. If you try to tell a joke, nobody laughs, you didn't mean it to be funny. Just keep going. After Huntsman, Newt Gingrich had an answer, and I'm going to give this the #1 response for question 1. Newt Gingrich did the perfect thing. He refocused on the goal. The goal for Republicans is to beat Obama in 2012. He refocuses the goal. Let's quit hating on each other and start worrying about who we're trying to defeat. Nice job, Newt. Excellent. And notice after he does this that a couple other people join on board too. This was a really, really great mechanism because the audience there, you know, most of the people in the audience, they're all going to be Republicans. They're probably not going to vote for Obama in the next election, and they're probably not for Obama in the first place. So he's playing to the crowd. He's playing what he's thinking. He knows what he wants to do. It's like, you know, the policies we got now aren't working. Let's quit infighting and start working together to create the common goal. Notice the applause he gets at the end of his answer. The crowd really lights up. Every candidate on the panel should watch the time code and see the way he did it, because that answer was awesome and exactly what the audience wanted to hear. Now, one thing I did notice, though, is there was a little problem on the panel as a whole. And every candidate missed the opportunity. Every single one. Even polished speakers like Mitt Romney and Cain missed the boat on this one. Somewhere along the line, and I think it came right in the beginning, right after Michele Bachmann talked, and then Mitt Romney and Perry got into it, they got into it, and they started talking like this. Notice the tension in my voice. And then every single candidate answered their question just like this. Notice the tension in my voice. And the problem is, this is good if the last person before you didn't do it. Notice how my last two words, didn't do it, were much more effective than all this, and then all this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. And you notice that if you look at this enough, it's just all flat. This is the same problem with some Hollywood movies that you see, where they're all action, they're all action, they're all action. After a while, it just gets boring. The really good Hollywood producers know that they have to slow the movie down. Now, if anywhere along there, after someone had given an answer like this, and they're giving an answer like this, and they're talking with tension in their voice, and speed, and power, and this, and right after that, you came up with, well, you know, Wolf, that's an awesome question. And what we need is for the American people to focus, and to feel what's in their heart, and to know what they need. They already know it. We just need to share it with those people in Washington. Do you see how high, and the lower stood out as if I'm almost screaming? And what I noticed is, after a while, every candidate got into the mode. They had to be a little bit more intense and a little bit louder than the last person. And it got to the point where they were just about shouting. If you come back, you are even more powerful than if you're screaming. So you can see that just by watching these debate questions, we can learn a lot about our speaking from watching everyone else and just critiquing. And you can kind of do that in everything, from the news to your favorite talk shows to even some of the reality shows, although I'm not a big fan of those. We can always learn something about our speaking if we watch from a critical eye. This is Cliff Suttle from ExciteYourAudience.com. I'll join you next time. I hope you'll join me.